It's always so fascinating that how that emotional pain it's so different to your physical pain. If you go to the hospital and you have something wrong with your leg or your shoulder and you're in pain, the doctors can get you seen, diagnose you, give you the correct medication and pain relievers, and then 2 or 3 weeks later, you'd be good to go and your problem would be solved. But when it comes to emotional pain, it is oftentimes so complex and multifaceted that it can't even take one doctor to completely solve it. A lot of the times we have to go on that journey ourselves. Today's video, guys, is about emotional pain, and again, I don't want to keep these videos too long, so I will always try to get the message out to you pretty quickly and pretty neatly wrapped in a bow. But it is also something I want to acknowledge that is far beyond the scope of a 5 or 6 minute video to deal with. I have seen so many videos as I've been growing up, I'd say the last 10 or so years, about people covering the topic of emotional pain. Sorry, that was the train. There's a lot of people that I've watched and a lot of videos I've seen over the years about dealing with emotional pain. And something that I feel is always left out is the part that you are assigning so much power and you're assigning so much influence of the awful and terrible things and people that happened to you all those years ago. And it's not to dismiss, it's not to belittle the terrible things that happened. Again, every person's situation is different, and I can't possibly, from just a 5 minute video, even though you're watching me, even though I'm speaking to you, I cannot possibly even fathom the things that you've gone through. But I have realized after watching dozens and dozens of these videos, and oftentimes being left with the same kind of feeling of, now what? Because, truth be told, at the end of the day, you can get all of the advice on dealing with your emotional pain, but ultimately, the person instigating it right now is you. It's that Buddhist quote, guys, about how life's already painful enough, but again, attachment to the things that happened, to the pain that I know you guys think about, maybe before you go to sleep at night. Maybe that breakup that just happened recently, or maybe that long friend of maybe nearly a decade who just decided to switch up on you and now doesn't even return your calls. This is all valid and this is all incredibly complicated stuff that nobody from just one video can solve. But the most important thing and the most important kindness that you can offer yourself is to start the process of letting go. Therefore, assigning that power to the terrible people and the actions that were inflicted against you, a lot of that has come and gone. What has happened is now in the past. And, we can look to the past and we can be envious of a time when we didn't know any better or that we were naive of what was to come. But that only solidifies our unhappiness. It only continues to further the emotional pain you inflict against yourself. Is despite all the pain that has been caused against you, the worst thing you can do is actually let those people win. The worst thing you can do in this life is to, despite how many years have gone by that these terrible things have happened, the worst thing you can do is let yourself get beaten down by the world. The things you're thinking about, the people, again, who did wrong, the heartaches, all of that, they're just a memory now. All you have is this present moment watching this video. All you have is what's going on right now. And at the very end of your life, at the end of the road, I think you would regret spending as much effort and as much time focused on that inflicting emotional pain rather than putting it towards stuff you enjoy. My closing message I want to say is that, you are not the product of just necessarily your bad environment. You are not the product of the shitty things that were done against you and the different ways people hurt you. You are the product of exactly the decisions you decide to take after all that. You have all of the power to continue on, despite all of that, to continue on as the highest and most valuable person in your life. Because you show up for you. You are actually, in fact, one of the most reliable people you have in your life because you got you. You have you. When you wake up, when you go to sleep, even if everybody else bails on you and is flaky and decides to bail on plans, whatever, you still have you. And if there's somebody in my life who is as reliable as that, I would want to show them a hell of a lot of kindness. So I think you should offer yourself the same kind of kindness. Guys, I love you. I appreciate you. I'll see you in the next video.